Thanks for joining us today on the What Podcast, helping you to support local, use local and buy local. Letting you know what's happening, what's on and what's on offer in the local area. The What Podcast.
Welcome to the What Podcast. Thanks for watching. My name is Liam Stone and the What Podcast is brought to you by whatoffers.co.uk, the local podcast dedicated to supporting local businesses. So support local, use local and buy local wherever you are. Now today's podcast is sponsored by Buttons and Bleathers, the local arts and crafts shop in Dunfermline, who supply arts and crafts material and also provide lessons to get your juices flowing for whatever you want to create. So you can find more about Buttons and Bleathers on our platform and visit them at the industrial estate in Dunfermline, which is Elgin Industrial Estate. A great little shop and full of lots of little trinkets and bits and pieces that you can use for any type of art and craft that you can imagine. So, great little business down there in Dunfermline. Now, I just wanted to remind you before we get into today's podcast, the What Wednesday winner competition will be coming to a close in the next few hours. So, if you fancy getting in with a chance of winning 50 quid to spend in your favourite local business, then jump onto Facebook. All you need to do is put a comment mentioning or tagging any local business that you love. Wherever you would want to spend £50, then just tell us what business that is. And if you win, then that's exactly what you'll get. You get 50 quid to spend in the local business that you mention or tag in the comments. And you can mention as many businesses as you want. Every business that you mention, you'll get one entry for. So if you mention 50 businesses, then you've got 50 entries. So fill your boots and mention as many as you want. The whole idea of this is to help promote local businesses through other mediums, and the competition is a great way because it gets seen by thousands of people, and all these little local businesses are getting obviously seen in the comments as well. So make sure you mention some local businesses and help support them in any way you can. And that brings me on to a bit about what I want to talk about today, because although we're running a competition on Facebook, a lot of people compare what we do with platforms like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and other social media platforms, as well as other directories and things like that. And the idea of Facebook, to be honest, we use it because obviously it's a need. We started our platform a while back, and we use Facebook to obviously generate an audience. We use it to help promote our services, and we use it to help promote the businesses that are using our services. But it's a means to an end. The reality is we don't really want to use Facebook. We have our own sort of social media facility within our own platform. But they say go where your audience is. And that's why probably a lot of businesses and yourself, watching this, probably use some form of social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or, Pinterest or all these different things. And the reality is they're great if you've got a dedicated group of people. Personally, I used to use Facebook purely for keeping in touch with people for different parts of the world, because I've worked in various places and met various people, and it was a good way to keep in touch with people. But for a small business, it's increasingly challenging to get found on a lot of these places. And when we started our own social media accounts, we did have the dilemma because we had various conflicting information for various people about how we should approach using these services. One of the common ones is people used to say, well, don't pay to boost any posts or to promote any posts, because as soon as you do, that's it, they've got you. And we tried for quite a while where we grew our audience organically, and it grew very slowly. Even though we had an audience, you would put up a post and you think, well, we've got so many people following us, so many people liking our page, and yet you put up a post and 3 people see it, and you're thinking, well, what's going on here? And it was almost that you feel like your posts were getting buried, like somebody was intentionally going, right, didn't let them see it, because if we didn't show this to people, then this person or this business or this group is going to have to pay to get this content out there. And we thought, okay, well, at the end of the day, it's advertising. And let's face it, if you're running a small local business, that's one thing you have to do. You have to advertise your services. And, advertising in general, whether it be Facebook or whether it be Google or whether it be your local newspaper or whether it be a radio station, at the end of the day, you have to get your name known. If you want customers, you have to get people to hear your advert, to see your business, to know that you exist. And that's the thing, as we've noticed over the last year or so that we've started this, we've got about 1,500 businesses on the platform so far. And a lot of these businesses, even I've, never heard of half of these businesses, because nobody knew they existed. And these businesses have obviously been in various places advertising their services and their products and things like that. And, some of them are smaller, newer businesses, and some of them are more established businesses, and, yet still people have never heard of them. So, how does a business get people to know they exist in the modern day world? As a user using Facebook, as I'm sure if you use Facebook or, the same for LinkedIn and Twitter and all these different places, they're all exactly the same as far as I'm concerned, is that, they're very clever at knowing exactly what it is that they think you want to see. And that's one thing that we've always been an advocate of, is no spying on you as such. You go into Google and you search for something on the internet. 5 minutes later, you jump onto your social media account and suddenly they've got adverts showing you things that you have been searching for. And that's because obviously they're tracking your behaviours in your browsers and things like that through cookies, so they know what you're searching for, they know what they think you're interested in, and hey presto, you've got your customised adverts. And I know there's options you can turn these off if you know how to get in the settings and things like that, but you're still going to see adverts, which is fine. But a lot of people dislike that. I dislike it, and I know a lot of people refuse to use a lot of these social media channels purely because of things like that. And it's one thing that we don't do here at What. So that's one thing I wanted to obviously mention, is that the fact that yes, we do have businesses on the platform, yes, we do have businesses advertising their services on the platform, but we don't target you, we don't track your data, we don't install cookies that check what you're searching anywhere else. We're not interested, quite simply. What we're interested in is knowing that we can show you local businesses to you that you might or might not be interested in. So yes, we will show you adverts, but they're not going to be highly customised based on us spying on you or tracking you or anything like that. And all businesses on our platform are going to get equal exposure regardless of how big they are or how much money they spend. A business on our platform can only spend one amount of money. It's a simple, small monthly subscription, which we charge £20 a month. We're open and transparent about it. And that £20 a month gets them a pro membership, and it basically we create adverts for them, and the adverts get displayed on What.live, which is where you're maybe watching the podcast now. And soon that'll be merging all together on What Offers, all in one place. So it will be kind of on the main homepage and other pages in the site. You would see adverts, and every business gets an equal sharing that is obviously signed up to that subscription package. So we don't charge them individually to say, okay, we are going to show this advert to this big an audience and it's over this size. We're not going to say, do you want to show this to mainly men or mainly women? We're not going to say, do you want your audience to be mainly in a certain age group or have a certain interest? Because we can't, because we don't get all that data from you with no checking everything you do. So we don't have the ability to say we are going to customize these adverts. And that might sound like a bad thing, but the reality is it's a good thing, because the simple fact is that it's all about protecting the consumer's data at the same time as giving every business equal exposure. And this is the big gripe as well, is that we don't really make any huge, massive promises. What we say is, you spend 20 quid and we're going to show your adverts. We're going to give you a mention on the podcast from time to time. We're going to promote you on social media and things like that. And there'll be a time where we no longer use any other social media other than our own. But, you know, obviously that clearly is a while away yet. But the reality is that, and this is what I hate, and it's the same, whether you use Facebook, whether you use Google, whether you use YouTube, or LinkedIn, or any of these places to promote your business online. The one big problem I have, and the perfect example, is I've done advertising on Facebook, and I've maybe put up a post that I think, okay, it's time sensitive, so I don't generally put up sponsored posts for long periods of time. I'll maybe put it up for 2 days or 3 days or 4 days or something like that. And I've done campaigns where I've put up a post and I've set my budget, let's say for example 100 quid, and Facebook will tell me, based on my audience, which is say Dunfermline, Edinburgh, Falkirk, Stirling, you know, in Glenorchy, Kirkcaldy, all these sort of that sort of east central sort of area, that there's 1 million viewers potentially on Facebook, and I'm going to get my advert or my post shown to between 11,000 and 30,000 people a day, and I'm going to run this campaign for 2 days with a budget of 100 quid that's supposed to get me between 11,000 and 30,000 views per day. And my campaign runs for 2 days, and then Facebook told me it got shown 3,000 times. But I still spent 100 quid. So how does that work? Problem is you can't actually, you can't just pick up the phone or send an email to somebody. God knows if you ever tried to get in touch with companies like Facebook. I've tried. We had a problem with our account at one point. I think I must have sent about 100 messages over the course of a 2-week period, and every single message got the same response. Thanks for contacting us. Unfortunately, you come through to the wrong department. Well, just put me through to the right department. But no, I've got to start the whole process over again. But you know, it's now to the point that it's so difficult that you don't even bother trying to complain, because you know it lands on deaf ears, and you're never really going to get a result. But I've run campaigns where, you know, you think you're going to get 20 to 30 to 40,000 people viewing your post, and the reality is you get a few thousand. Then I've run other posts where I've put a very small budget on, and I just run it for a day, and had a bigger, you know, result for that one post for over 1 day for 25 quid than what I would get for 2 days or 3 days with 100 quid. So it makes no sense, and that's the problem. When something doesn't make sense, then how do you justify the money that you spend on it? You know, we are looking at our advertising, you know, when we take Google adverts and Facebook adverts and LinkedIn adverts, the money that we spend collectively, we probably reinvest something like, at this minute in time, 600 or 700% of our revenue. So the businesses that are spending money with us, we are reinvesting that money 5 or 6 times over just in local advertising. So these are the benefits that a business can get, and this is what our platform is obviously devised to do. We are well aware that we need to advertise as a business, but so that you don't have to advertise individually, if you are part of the What platform, we are advertising as a group, really, and we are advertising to drive people to our platform so they can find businesses like yours. So, you know, this is what we are trying to do, is create a fairer platform for both consumers, no getting tracked, and for businesses where it's a simple £20 a month and everybody gets equal exposure. And the reality is I mean, that £20 a month, we create your adverts, we promote your adverts, you get mentioned in the podcast, you get promoted on social media, and I spend more than that in a day just on one Facebook post. So the thing is we know that it costs a lot of money to advertise your business, and we're not here to try and be another one of the big companies that are ripping you off left, right and centre, try to take all your money just to show a handful of people your business or your product. So if you want to be part of your platform and have fairer advertising and fairer promotion and fairer prices and a fairer environment for consumers, then head over to whatoffers.co.uk, register your business. You can register for free and you'll still get all the benefits of the exposure that we're doing, or you can become a pro partner, which, as I say, is £20 a month, and we'll create adverts for you and obviously promote you in various different ways. You'll also be included in our email marketing and things like that. So there's various different ways that we try and help promote your business, but we're not going to screw you over to the point where you feel like you just have to keep spending more and more and more and more just to get one or two extra results. If 1 million people are on platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn within a very small radius, how come when I put out a post only a couple of hundred people might see it, unless I pay money? Doesn't make sense. You can make up your own mind about it. Obviously, what I'm telling you here is just my opinion. So the problem is you cannot get facts, whether you're trying to get facts about how Google are treating your website for SEO or whether Google are treating your adverts. You advertise on Google tell you 300 people clicked on your advert this week. Thanks very much, but that just cost you 200 quid. Oh, great, okay. So 300 people clicked on my advert, but my analytics didn't tell me that 300 people came to my website. So what happened? You've got really no way of checking, and you just have to take the word for it as far as I'm concerned. You might have a different experience, you might have a better experience, and if you do, then congratulations, and I wish you the best of luck. But obviously, if you want to jump on to our platform and get some extra exposure, then obviously it's free to get set up and join. And if you do want to get on board as a partner, then we'll more than happily welcome you, and at least you'll get some human experience of actually being able to talk to somebody if obviously you need any help or help getting set up or anything like that. The other benefit, whilst I'm talking about Facebook, just to let you know, is we've actually partnered with one of the small groups, or it's a small business that basically run groups on Facebook, which is called Fife Billboards, and they run billboards across the whole of Fife. I think they've got 22 different billboards across the whole of Fife. You can find them on the platform, but we've partnered with them, and they're also one of our latest pro partners. The benefit is we get prominence in all the Fife billboards, so when we're promoting our services or our businesses, then they're getting shared regularly through all the Fife billboards. So if you've got a business in Fife and you want some extra exposure, you don't have to go spending hours every day when you put up a post to try and share it into every group, wondering whether you're breaking the rules because they only let you share so often and things like that. You can just join us and we'll share your news for you, and it'll go on all the Fife billboard groups. So you check out Fife billboards on whatoffers.co.uk. But if you obviously join us, then you're automatically going to benefit from all that exposure as well. So obviously, if you've got any questions, feel free to email me at liam@whatoffers.co.uk, and I'll be happy enough to answer. Or you can drop us a message through our website, and one of our account managers will be able to answer any questions that you've got. We'd love to have you on the platform. We'd love for you to share the news. Don't forget to check out our podcast every Tuesday and Thursday if this is the first time you've watched, where we'll obviously talk about various things and hopefully have some guests coming on the show. People like yourself, if you're watching this and you want to talk about your business, or you want to talk about something that's happening, or something you're doing in the area, whatever type of business it is, if you would like to be on the What Podcast, then get in touch, and we'd love to have a chat with you. But for now, I'm going to let you go, and thank you very much for watching today, listening to me having my little rant about advertising. I'm sure you want to have a rant as well from time to time if you've had the pains of trying to advertise your business. But jump over to whatoffers.co.uk and get your business here and we'll help you with that. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Ta-ra.
Thanks for joining us today. Remember, whatever you need, head over to whatoffers.co.uk or what.live to see more of our podcasts, and join us again to see what's up next.